Chapter 9, Blue Collar Kaizen with Mack's story. Chapter 9 is righting the wrong. Lean is not about two pillars, it's about two foundational layers. And I shared a little bit about this if you watch the intro to this series. Basically, I've heard and read and studied, and I still hear it all the time. Everyone talks about the two pillars of lean: continuous improvement and respect for the people. But as I learned and I grew, especially as I started reading leadership, I decided that I was going to change the way I teach that. And I think it's taught wrong. That's why this chapter is titled Righting the Wrong. The wrong is, I don't believe there are two pillars of lean. I believe there are two layers: respect for the people, continuous improvement. I had the privilege of joining John Maxwell in Guatemala. My wife and I, Rhea, we joined John Maxwell in Guatemala in 2013. We trained over 20,000 Guatemalan leaders. We were at the presidential palace with John and the president of Guatemala at that time. And the whole point was to transform the culture of the nation. And we based, our entire training was based on the following principle, which was based on a research study from Stanford and Harvard. And that principle was 87% of your results or your influence comes from character. And the remaining 13% comes from competency. So as I learned that, and I learned about, I already knew a lot about lean. So as I started applying that principle to lean, what I figured out was character is the respect for people piece of lean. This is your 87%. It's the solid, thickest part of the foundation. Competency is continuous improvement layer of lean, the other 13%. It stacks on top of the respect for the people. But what most people do, most organizations, they don't even deal with this. They're trying to work off of 13%. They're working off of competency, how to use the lean tools, how to teach people to use the lean tools, how to teach people to do their jobs. But most people don't get fired for lack of doing their job. They get fired because of character. And the way you validate that simple principle is people get hired for what they know, competency, and most often they're fired for who they are, character. That's a simple way to validate that principle. I'm sure you've seen it throughout your career. And that's the way you have to learn to lead lean, is to focus on that 87%. It's the key. You may already know it, but the leaders may not know it. You got to be the messenger.